Let me ask you, before you move on, you're spending this money on personal development.
And business education.
Are you spending the money, what has the most value for you? The information that you get, that you're trading for the money, or the fact that you are investing money, putting money?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I think it's a symbiotic relationship. The more you spend, the more you pay attention, and the more you pay attention, the more value and action you get. If I give you something for free, you might take action. But if I charge you $50,000 for it, you're darn tootin' gonna do it. You know. So I can't believe I just said darn tootin', but I don't know if there's a profanity filter on this podcast. So it's the first thing that came to my brain.
One word is banned for now on.
Yeah, I mean, I just went in the white archives of my brain.
I think I've only heard that word on TV. It's good.
But so yeah, I would say it's you kind of have to have both. They're symbiotic, and it's. But see, that you make a good point, because I killed myself for years selling $1,000 consulting, $500, $2,000. And when I learned to raise my prices, I learned a few things. I learned, number one, life is way easier on me. I'm way less stressed. We make way more profit, way less employees. And that gives me a higher ability to serve and do a good job. Number two, you get better clients that pay attention, and clients that take action, and thus get way better results. I'll just give you an example. I had fantastic gentleman, Jason Phillips, gets on the phone with me, and he had a bit of trouble with his offer and scaling. He was doing good though. He was in the 6-figure range. He was doing like 150 a month, right? Gotcha. And sold a fitness coaching offer, and this was well into my career. I built the competence,
For sure.
And he wanted to buy a house, and he said, "Listen, Dan, I got two choices here. I can give you $55,000 to work with you personally, or I can put it as a down payment on this house." I said, "Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you several questions. I want you to answer them honestly. And if I honestly feel I can help you, I will tell you, and I will promise you that if you just wait a few months, you'll be able to buy a house 2, 3, 4 times the size." And I asked him the questions, and I could tell, because I never take money from anybody that I know I can't help.
Yeah.
So he told me all his problems and everything. And the guy, by the way, the guy is a fantastic entrepreneur. I'm not saying I'm fully responsible for any. Sure. I just helped a little bit.
Can you tell me some of the questions?
It was about, the questions were around what his offer was, who it was for, why they wanted it, what he was charging, what the what infrastructure he had, what the result was his clients were getting, what that was worth to them, questions like that.
Gotcha.
And so he decided to join, and he came on, I believe, 2 calls. I gave him some advice. He never came on a call again. He within 2 weeks made his investment back. 4 months later, he was at $750 a month, and now he's about to hit $1 million a month.
So can you tell me what you told him, or what was going on them 2 calls? What did he get from you?
So here's the thing.
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it, and we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together a Patreon. We put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay. So check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated. Okay. Thank you so much. Now back to the episode.
You play golf?
Yeah, I'm not good, but...
All right. Let's say you're really good at golf, right? But you have a flaw in your swing, and you get your slice, right? It's very difficult for you as the person who's swinging the club, because the club's right in front of your face, to actually see where that flaw is. But somebody, even if they're not as good at golf as you, if they're standing 6 feet away, and they can see the whole
can
swing.
see it.
They can see exactly where it is. So it's not that he wasn't incredibly intelligent, or that I was better than him or any of that. That's irrelevant.
Right.
It's that he was just like anybody, too close to what he was doing, and he couldn't see the full swing. I step back, I look at the full swing, and of course, I use my experience working with, thousands of people, and I saw what the problem was in his offer, in what he was doing, and mainly it was just his offer, his pricing, all that. And the guy is brilliant, right? And so, I saw what was holding back that brilliance, at least in my department that I could help.
Sure.
Because like me, he has tons of mentors. We all do. And so, he told me one day, he said, Dan, I just had 1 or 2 calls with you, did that one thing and it blew up. And it was just that one correction in that swing. And, I think he's at almost $1 million a month now, or maybe he's hit it. But the thing is that sometimes it just takes that one little correction.
For sure.
But he did buy a house, and it is 4 times. It is 4 times the size of that original house.
That's crazy. So the 55,000, and some people would look at that before it happens, 55,000 to change one thing, but the one thing will make you millions. And
I paid Myron 50, whatever it was, 50, 55, whatever it was, for his deal.
So did I.
I went on stage and I made $1 million. So there's 2 ways you could look at it. You could say, Dan, you paid $55,000 to attend a 2-day seminar. You're crazy. Or you could say, wow, Dan, you turned 55,000 into $1 million. Your answer will tell me everything I need to know about the next 50 years of your life.
Okay, let's dig into that. Because you're going somewhere, and I need them to catch it.
Okay.
Let's run that.
So here's the thing. Everything in look. If you're a different species, right? We live in the 3rd dimension. Okay. If you were a 2nd or 3rd or 4th dimensional, like if you're a frog, right? If you're an amphibian, if you're a bird, you see the world differently. Yeah. You don't see it with, you can look up these TED Talks that talk about how any creature sees only what they need to see to survive, right? There's so much, you can't see atoms and all this stuff. Like you see only what you need to see, right? So the biggest thing is how you view the world, and the lens in which you look at the world through really determines your fate. And if you can see what others can't see, you can navigate the treacherous waters of life a lot easier than most. If you're walking through a hallway and you have a blindfold on, what are you going to do? You're going to bounce off the walls. But if you take off the blindfold, you can walk unscathed down the hallway and get where you need to go.
Right.
So I'm going to go deep here.
Let's
okay?
go. Let's go.
Deep, okay.
We're here, Dan.
So listen, what if I told you that you are not you?
If you told me that I was not me.
You are not you. Okay. Most people are not them. All right. So when
I would need some explanation.
Of course. So when you grow up, right? If you grow up in, I don't know, Alabama. Okay, let's take person A grows up in Alabama their whole life. Person B grows up in Iraq. What religion do you think person A is going to be who grew up in Alabama?
Probably Christian.
Christian. What religion do you think person B who grew up in Iraq is going to be?
Ideally Muslim.
Muslim, okay? And that's just the way things are. It's because when you grow up, your environment really does determine the beliefs that get defaulted into your brain.
All right.
And if you never challenge those beliefs, then you live through life with your default programming, and you are not really you. You are only you when you challenge, and I'm not saying change, I'm saying challenge, because you can either choose to change or choose to validate your beliefs. But if you don't constantly challenge your beliefs, you're just accepting your default programming and you're bouncing off the walls going through life. When you challenge it, you learn more about yourself and you become the person that you were meant to be. So do you know that every person has untapped potential in them? And I'm not talking about some fluffy stuff. We have thousands of years of human evolution locked in our brain. When you actually get out of your comfort zone and you try something new, you form new neural pathways in your brain. Just like when you lift a weight, you form new scar tissue in your muscle. Those neural pathways unlock information stored in your brain through thousands of years of human evolution. And you can become a higher version of yourself. You can become a more optimal, refined version of yourself. It's all there.